The Lifetime Tamarack Fishing Kayak is a sub $500 kayak. Let's talk about what you can get for that. I wanted to do a quick walkthrough today of my Lifetime Tamarack Fishing Kayak. Recently I just upgraded it. And as I was doing so, I was kind of going through this one and I was like, you know what, I've owned this for about 5 years. I've been on a whole lot of fishing trips with it. And I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where guys talk about this entry-level, budget-friendly kayak. But a lot of them are like initial unboxings or just after they purchased them or they're taking them out to the water for the first time. I don't think I've seen a YouTube video yet where someone's like, hey, I've owned this thing a long time. This is what I like about it. This is what I don't like about it. Hopefully this video can give you some insight if you've been thinking about purchasing this as to whether or not you should purchase it, or maybe you should go with something else. But let's go ahead and do a quick walkthrough and then I'll give you some of my insights on this kayak. So starting right up front here, you've got your drain plug at the very tip of this. That design's okay. Whenever you do need to drain it, you do have to flip it upside down, and then you generally have to tilt the back up. I've got a picnic table there. A lot of times I just put that side on the ground, put that end up, and that seems to work okay. Again, you got a little bit of work you have to do with it, but it seems to do well. I haven't replaced this yet, and it actually still looks like it's in really good condition. By replacing it, I mean the rope itself, not necessarily the handle. But this works, it's functional. The gear strap up front here, you've got 2 spots where it can come unhinged. This one's actually looped through, and this thing's getting pretty close to needing repaired. I think my son's gonna take over this kayak since I got a new one, so I might end up replacing that for him. You've got this molded foot system here where it's just kind of integrated into it, so you've got, depending on how big you are, a lot of leg space. It does have this molded area here for a water bottle or whatever you might have there. It does have these, and I like this a lot, these anchor points. There's one here, there's another one in the back, but that's great for like pliers, because I'll use bungees. I'll clip them on a pair of pliers, a knife, or whatever. That way I don't actually knock something out of the kayak and into the water. It did come with this rod holder, which is great, especially if I'm, whatever, catfishing or something and I want to stop and eat or just hang out. I can set my rod up and let it go. It does come with a hatch up here. Now, this hatch, it is not lined. I did figure out, though, that you can cut a paint bucket, about a 1-gallon paint bucket, the plastic ones, and that actually drops in there and fits in there perfectly. In fact, let me go grab that real quick so I can show you. There we go. I said 1 gallon. It may not, I think it is 1 gallon, but it's just a plastic paint bucket. I did have to trim a little bit off the rim there, but that fits in there nice. And yeah, there you go. You put cell phone in there, keep other gear in there. Like I said, some of my son's stuff's in here right now, but that works out perfectly. And for whatever reason, it just fits exactly the way it should there. And that keeps anything from bouncing around. Now, obviously, too, if you're going to do a fish finder or anything, you could run a battery in there, drop that in, or just buy one of those other liner style ones that they sell on Amazon or whatever. You got a cup holder here, got grab handle here, carry handle here. It does come with 1 string for a paddle loop. Obviously, you could put your own in, and it did come with this paddle as well. Now, one thing I want to note is on several other videos I've seen where guys review these, the paddle is the very first thing they all grab and they go, oh man, yeah, this thing's junk. I'm getting rid of this. This is the first thing I'm replacing. I don't know why. Maybe I just don't know enough about kayaking. I'm by no means an expert, but I've been using that paddle the entire time. Haven't had a single issue with it. And I've used it to push off, get myself out of some sticky situations. It's never broken on me or faltered in any way, so that is what it is, but that's there. The seat, I did replace the seat here because it originally had like some molded foam here, and then there's like a back piece you can lock in. I still have that. That wasn't a great design. It really wasn't that comfortable. I did go ahead and try to do this you know, cheap Walmart hack where you get these stadium seat. You can see I got foam and all kinds of stuff on it. This wasn't a great solution either. It was cheap and it worked, but I wouldn't recommend this because the way the stadium seats work, it had a bar straight back here, which I cut. You know, long story short, it just wasn't great. So if you are gonna buy one of these and you're gonna upgrade the seat, just go buy an actual kayak seat, because they're molded in a specific way to where it's not gonna press on your back and it's gonna be comfortable and let you sit all day. All right, so you get a couple rod holders back here, great for trawling or just getting your poles from point A to point B. Another anchor point back here, which is great for hooking things up to. I like to actually hook my anchor to it when I'm in creeks and streams. Hook it right to that, we're good to go. You've got another bungee system back here. It unhooks on these two. These two are hooked in. You do have another gear hatch back here. It's not lined. I at one point thought about putting my fish finder. I was going to put the battery back there, but you know, you could do whatever you want to it. Cut another bucket, keep some stuff in there, and you also have another handle back here. So overall, my experience with this has been pretty much good, right? Like I got this thing on a Black Friday deal for $250 like 5 years ago. It's got me on the water. It's caught, or I've caught a lot of fish on it, and a lot of memories have been created. You know, I've gone out kayaking with my sons. This kind of got me into kayaking in the first place, and now I've, you know, again upgraded. We've got a few others, and yeah, I mean, overall I've been thoroughly satisfied with it. But with that said, there were some obvious things that made me want to upgrade it, and kind of pointing this out too. And this is a really, I don't know why this is part of the design, but it's not great. But you got scupper holes here, so there's two there, two here, and two here. So with that original seat design, because it's just a piece of foam here and again the seat, even when you put scupper plugs in there, water just soaks you. Your butt's getting wet the entire time you're kayaking. So I felt the need, well, and just comfort too. The other seat wasn't very comfortable, but I felt the need to have an elevated seat because that's not a great design. I don't know why those are there, but yeah, that was a very poor call on Lifetime's part. But some upgrades that my other kayak has that this one does not. So this one does not have any rail system. Obviously you can purchase those separately, put them on yourself, but you also don't have that additional bungee setup. As said, you can put that on yourself, right? But it would be good if Lifetime added that to both sides, which is makes it a little bit more convenient for whenever you're, you know, fishing, especially for a fishing kayak, right? Because you might be paddling, you might have a rod going here, a rod going there, you might need to reach for something. Having to put the paddle on one side specifically is kind of an inconvenience. It's a minor one, but aside from like really those two things, and maybe the drainage system, which works, you just got to finagle it a little bit. But overall, like I said, my opinion on this kayak has been great. For $250 that I spent on it, you really can't beat getting a kayak that's ready to go. You got the paddle, you got a rod holder, you got that rod holder, you got the two holding it, right? You can get on the water with 3 rods right then and there. And that's without any kayak crate or any additional gear. That's without upgrading anything. That's literally just saying, hey, I'm gonna get out on the water and try to do some fishing. But like I said, if I was gonna do some upgrades right from the start, do it differently, right away I can tell you I would have probably actually just removed that rod holder. Maybe I would have left it, but I would definitely add a track in on one side here. I would definitely buy an actual kayak seat and, you know, put it in, which you can see on this one. I mean, you have to do something very similar, but I had to put these little hoops in order to hold this in place, because there's no, you know, lips or tracks for a seat. So you do have to do some modifications to make that happen. Another thing I would have done differently, you can see here where I have a little GoPro mount. That didn't work very well. Actually, that's one thing I do regret about this, is I tried several times to film some videos where I was kayak fishing, and I just couldn't get the camera to work out right. So if I was going to do one other thing different, I absolutely would have installed some sort of short track, maybe like a 4-inch one, 6-inch one. I don't know where I would do it because, you know, this is curved up. This has a V shape in. It'd be great if you could put a track like here or something. That way you could mount an arm with a GoPro for that specific purpose. You know, if you're not doing that kind of stuff, probably don't care, right? It doesn't matter. But would I recommend this? Absolutely. Just be aware that there are, you know, again, some real obvious flaws. That seat being probably the number one issue, because the one that came with it was just not comfortable at all, and the way those scupper holes are set up, you just get, your butt just stays wet from the time you hit the from the time you hit the water to the time you leave. You're going to be soaked through. But aside from those couple things, this is definitely a great entry-level kayak. Like I said, especially if you're just getting started, you're wanting to get on the water for that price point. Now, there's the other video I did with the other one I purchased, which as of right now, that one's cheaper than this one even is. I mean, if you're choosing between the two, I'd obviously shoot for that one. I did, right? I said, hey, I'm going with this one instead of this one. If you own this kayak and you've got any comments on anything I missed, any of your own thoughts, feedback, or if you're considering buying this kayak, and you got any questions for me you think I can help with, please feel free to drop those in the comments. I'm by no means a kayaking expert, but I have spent a lot of hours on this kayak. This thing has been all over Pennsylvania. It's been all over Ohio. So I got a lot of hours logged on it. But aside from that, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope it's been helpful. We'll see you on the water.